every single dream, every single goal that you have set forth for yourself from the time that you were 10 years old to however you are now, what would your life look like? It would look completely different. So fix that problem of adherence, and everything takes care of itself. Because now you can say, I want to be this. I want to build an amazing company. You could become that. I want to build an amazing relationship. You could do that. There's literally nothing you can't do if you can develop a plan and then adhere to it. It's not that people don't know what to do, it's that they can't do it. So fix that problem and you fix your whole life. What is up, guys? It's Andy Priscilla. This is the show for the realists. Say goodbye to the lies, the fakeness, and delusions of modern society. And welcome to reality. Guys, today we have our first Q&AF of 2025. That's where you submit the questions and we give you the answers. You can submit your questions a couple different ways. First way is
you still submit the same. Guys, email these questions in to AskAndy@AndyPriscilla.com.
good job. Yeah, or you go on YouTube in the Q&AF episodes, drop a question in the comments, we'll choose some from there as well. Other times throughout the week, you know the deal. We're going to have CTI, that stands for Cruise the Internet. That's where we put topics on the screen. We speculate on what's going on. We talk about what's true, what's not true. And then we talk about how we, the people, have solved these problems going on in the world. Other times we're going to have real talk. Real talk just 5 to 20 minutes, and we're giving you some real talk. Then we're going to have 75 hard verses. 75 hard verses is where someone or a number of people come on the show. They talk about how they were before, how they are now, and how they use 75 hard to completely transform their lives and how you can do the same. Now, if you're unfamiliar with 75 hard, it's the initial phase of the Live Hard program, which you can get for free at episode 208 on the audio feed. Live Hard 75 Hard is the world's most popular mental transformation program. Like I said, it is free. Okay, episode 208 on the audio feed. There's also a book. The book is called The Book on Mental Toughness. You can get it at AndyPriscilla.com. It includes the entire Live Hard program, nuts, bolts, inside and out, every question answered, plus a whole bunch of chapters on mental toughness, why it's important, how to cultivate it, and what it can do for your life. Now, with that being said, the book is not required, but people who like the ins and outs and know the details of everything, it's for you. You're going to love the book. All right, so get that at AndyPriscilla.com. By the way, Friday was National Quitters Day, which most people quit on their New Year's resolutions. So I'd like to remind you that we are going to start 75 hard today. So all of you guys who quit, all of you guys who, already gave up and went back to your old fat ass ways, we're going to start today. Okay, I know I told you I was going to start last week, but I figured I'd wait for you guys who, you start a little bit and then you fall off. We're fucking starting today, guys. All right? So let's do this today. Let's do it together. And I'd like to remind you of the fee for the show. The fee is very simple. Share the show. We don't run ads on the show. This is the biggest show in the world that doesn't run ads. We finance the show ourselves. We deal with censorship, throttling, all the bullshit that they say they don't do. We still can't. So do us a favor, share the show, all right? Got a little thing that we say over here. It goes like this. Don't be a hoe. Share the show. What's up?
What's going on, my man?
Nothing, dude.
Yeah?
So are you.
Oh, not much. I appreciate the compliment of the beard.
That beard looks good, bro.
It's a process.
Who did that? Did you do that?
I do it.
Yeah. Bro, it is a thing.
It's a process.
Like, you can mess it up real bad, real easy.
It's always sucks because, my hair, even when I had hair, it's not the same. Like, it's two different things. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what this is.
Well, my fucking hair ain't the same as my hair up there either.
But, like, even my
Your downstairs hair?
downstairs carpet don't match the upstairs carpet. You know what I'm saying?
We got like ginger balls or something.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's like
DJ's the only black guy in the world with ginger balls.
No, man, it's a process though, man. You gotta shampoo, condition, and then I like blow my
shampoo, condition your ball hair?
my beard.
Oh,
The beard.
got it.
Yeah, the beard's a process.
Yeah.
Downstairs, I just,
It's like
everything out here, forest down
you gotta trim that down. It adds extra length.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I can trim that.
Yeah. Optical illusion.
You
Everything's
want
like that.
to hear my dare story?
No, because I got one too.
shaved, like I think the day before. So come in, like, all right, guys, it's OC day. I'm like, okay, it's not enough time to, do the spray, it's fine. Go take a shower. Take a shower, it all goes down.
Yeah.
Probably, I mean, it's like childbirth. I would imagine it'd be comparable.
Bro, one time I had a little rash down there. You know how like those big guys we get a little chafing down there sometimes. You know what I'm saying? There's some of that medicated gold bond powder in there. Oh, dude. Oh, dude. That was a fucking mistake. I thought that would fix it. You put gold bond in it. Bro, I thought that would fix it. It said medicated. So I was like, oh, this will fix it. That was a terrible mistake. And then then one time, dude, like, this is even worse. Yeah, I know. This is even worse, though. So, another time, like, dude, do you remember when you were playing football, they just had that stuff in the locker room, which is called fucking Red Hot? It was like in a white little jar. They might have quit making this shit because it was dangerous, dude. Anyway, it's like super, like, industrial strength, like, fucking, what's it called? It's like that game, but it's not that game. It's called Red Hot. And what's that shit that you got? Tiger Bomb?
Tiger Bomb, yeah.
Okay, it's like Tiger Bomb, right? But it's super hot.
Good stuff.
Tiger Bomb works, but
Some good stuff.
so I put some of that on. Like I had like I do remember this exactly. I had a fucking strained groin muscle. Okay, so I had to get some of that on there, right? Up in the groin, and a little bit got on the, on the carrying bag down there. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, and then this might be why I don't have kids.
I thought it was a commercial for this.
Fuck, dude. But anyway,
I love for that.
but yeah, dude, they got on your balls.
Maybe it's title.
Yeah, but dude, like 7 hours later, dude, like I fucking touched my eye.
Oh man.
Like, and dude, my eye burned for like 3 fucking days, dude. Like, water, like, anyway. So first, we lost everybody. See you guys tomorrow.
If you're still here, let's get better.
Yeah.
Let's get better. That's
Tip
number
number
one.
one. Don't put any red hot on your back. Don't touch your eyeballs.
Almost shot back.
Yeah, no.
Alright. I'm down, man. I'm right. Well, I got 3 good ones for you.
You do?
Let's knock them out.
All right.
Guys,
How does anyone listen to anything I say after that?
man, this guy's laying down some knowledge. Yeah, I guarantee you Google searches for red hot. Goes through the roof right now.
All right.
Well, let's get better, man. Guys, question number 1. 80. I'm a 25-year-old business owner, just getting started. And I have a lot of people wanting to give me advice and help me in any way possible. From friends to family to business owners. A popular topic always gets brought up, and it's this. Stay as small as you can for as long as you can. I listen to what they have to say, but I don't agree with that statement at all. My goals are much larger than to stay small forever. I want to grow, expand, employ people because I believe in myself and take this time making those successful for not only me, but other people who want a career in this sector. That statement lingers in my head over and over. A few close friends of mine have said it, the bigger you are, the more headaches. What's your thoughts on all of this? How do you, what is the proper advice?
The proper thing to do is to never listen to anybody who hasn't done what the fuck you want to do. Okay? You guys mess yourselves up because you go out and you ask everybody who's never been there, who's never created anything, who's never built anything, and you ask them what they think. What the fuck do you think they're going to say? They have no idea. That's like asking someone the best place to eat in China that's never been to fucking China, bro. They don't know. So you have to start qualifying who you're asking advice from. If they don't live the life that you want to live, don't listen to what they have to say. If you do listen to what they have to say and you take it to heart and you go to do your thing or create or build your business around what somebody who's never built a business has to say, whether that be your mom, your dad, your brother, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, all these motherfuckers come out of the woodwork like they've done this shit and they haven't. Okay? And if you listen to them, you will be like them. Alright? That is it. So why are you listening to people who have never done the thing it is you want to do. Why would you do that? It's literally, it makes you stupid as fuck. Okay? That means you're stupid. Secondly, I think you're misunderstanding what people are saying. Okay? I don't think they're saying to you, and maybe they are because maybe your friends and family are just that fucking dumb. But I don't think they're saying to you, stay small forever. I think what they're saying to you is, and this is what I would say to you, is to keep your lifestyle small, keep your bills small, stay agile, and be able to pivot quickly. The biggest advantage that you're going to have as a small business is your ability to pivot and make moves quick when you're competing against bigger companies. Bigger companies, when they try to pivot and make moves and change things, that's like turning around a fucking cruise ship in the middle of the ocean, okay? It takes a minute. For you, it's like a jet ski. You can just fucking turn, and that's where that's your advantage as a smaller business. You don't have the employees, you don't have the experience, you don't have the knowledge, but you're agile, and you're quick, and you're able to make adjustments fast, which allows you to pay attention to what bigger companies are doing, see them start to make the adjustment, you pivot right away, and you actually beat them to it. Okay, so this fluidity and agility is a massive advantage for someone who's running a smaller company against people who are running bigger companies. And that's something to think about, okay? That's a good advantage for staying small. But to your point, you're not going to always be small. You're going to want to employ people. You're going to want to grow business. And, you know, to make a lot of fucking money, bro, you got to have a pretty big fucking business. That's reality. So I'm assuming that the reason that you're in this is because you want to be financially successful. And you're right. You're going to need employees. And you're going to need to scale. And you're going to need to grow. And you're going to need, you know, line extensions of your products and all these different things, integrations. Those things will come. But as they come, you should always try to maintain the agility and the ability to pivot of a small company. Okay? One of the best things about the companies that I'm involved in is that we don't do corporate hierarchy bullshit. Okay? We work really hard, and some of it you can't avoid because you're going to have systems, you're going to have you know, procedures. But the more of that shit that you have, the less agility you have, which means the slower it is for you to move. So this is like the government. You know, the government sucks. Right? That's a whole nother thing. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But the point is that running a bigger company and maintaining the idea of small, agile, quick to pivot is really the success recipe that you need to have. So that's what I would say to that. Keep your bills small, keep your lifestyle small as long as possible, okay? And I did that. Like, bro, like, people who become successful, dude, they don't just, like, make their first $1 million and go out and buy a fucking house or a car or this or that. They reinvest that, and they roll it over again and again and again and again and again. And eventually, they're buying cars like other people are buying fucking candy at the grocery store. Like, they don't give a fuck, okay? That's what you want. You want to be at a point where you're not having to really pay attention to your lifestyle because your business is so big. So, I think that's the advice I would give you. But the biggest advice of this whole question is don't listen to fucking people who haven't done what you want to do. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them for a second. If you have a very good friend, or maybe you have a dad or a mom or an uncle who has some business experience, or maybe they don't have any, and they're just like, hey, look, I don't know much about this, but I'll support you anyway. Here's what I learned. I read this, and maybe you think about that. That's shit you can listen to.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yes, because they're making an effort to try to help. I had a lot of people in my life coming up who, you know, always gave me advice, and dude, because I didn't know, like I didn't know, I would take it. But they didn't know either. And so I spent all this time making all these mistakes based upon what other people thought. They had no idea, so why the fuck would I listen to what they thought when I should just be listening or trying what I'm more qualified than them. I'm in the game. They're not in the game. You see what I'm saying? And as a young entrepreneur, you know, what do you say, 25?
25.
Yeah, dude, we gotta get to the point where we are trusting ourselves. And the way that we learn to trust ourselves is by going out doing what we think is best, making some mistakes, learning from the mistakes, and then continuing down the path. And dude, like I tell you guys over and over and over again, you really only need a couple things to be successful long term. You got to build the grit, the determination, the fortitude to not quit, and you got to be smart enough to learn from your mistakes. Okay, the first time, if for sure the second time. If you're someone that can make the same mistake 7 times, you can't make it in business. It's fucking impossible. If you're someone that can, make that mistake and then say, all right, cool, I lost $10,000 today because I made this mistake. That lesson cost me $10,000, and then look at it as an investment in your education, and then never make that mistake again. Bro, there's no limits to how far you can go. So, anyway, don't listen to people who haven't done what it is you want to do, ever. They have no fucking clue what they're talking about. And everybody out here on the internet thinks they're some sort of life philosopher, fucking business advisor. How many business advisors and gurus do we have on the internet that never built a fucking company? You can't order their product, you can't see their employees, you can't see what the fuck they do, but somehow they know everything about business. How many fucking life philosophers do we have on the internet who write all this shit about life, and you look at their life and it's a dumpster fire? Start qualifying who you take advice from. It's a major, major, major skill set that you have to have. You cannot take advice from people who are not in a position that you want to be in. Now, there is one exception to that. If there was somebody who was in that position and then lost that position, you can listen to that person too. Because that person can be valuable insight about not burning your own shit down.
I love it. And Andy, you described a few times, about imagine you're driving the Titanic, right? You kind of as the owner operator, you kind of have to look out and see
right
when
where the icebergs are and navigate the boat, right?
What would you say was one of those moments where you had to make that pivot early on in business? What was one of those first icebergs you kind of saw and had to readjust, and you were able to readjust because you saw it?
Man, there's been so many, dude. I don't think I can name one. It's just a normal part of business. That's like asking someone who is like, how many breaths did you take today? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's normal shit. But here's what I will tell you. I will tell you that if you lack the ability to see what is happening in the environment, business market, whatever it is, whatever game you're playing and where you're playing, if you lack the ability to have foresight and vision as to what's actually coming, you can't make a plan to navigate through. You can't do it, dude. You have to be able to look out on the horizon and say, okay, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. We got to do this. We got to move this way and then that way. We got to zig and then zag at this exact time. That's a huge part of running an organization, and it's a skill that you're going to learn over time. It's not something that people are gifted with. But that also comes, dude, with bigger visions, right? A lot of people, dude, here's the truth. A lot of people just shouldn't be entrepreneurs. They want to have a place where they show up every day at 11:30 with a Starbucks, and they want to stay till 2, and they want to walk in, they want to look around, and they think they're going to make a gazillion dollars. That's not how the fuck it works, bro. You've got to be able to understand every single element, every single detail of every single product in every single market environment, period. You have to be able to anticipate. You have to be able to see what's coming, and you have to be able to have the confidence to make the move now versus after everybody else has made the move. And that's another thing that entrepreneurs do, bro. It's a me too business. Because entrepreneurship has become so accessible, people run it as like a me too. Okay, what I mean by that is they see everybody else do something, and then they do it, and it's not, bro, you're too fucking late. You're too late. You have to be making those moves before everybody else, and when you're a small company, you can do that quickly. And that's a huge advantage.
That reminds me of college. I was a coordinator. He was a film study with us one time. He put out a question what makes a quarterback the best quarterback? Right? And everybody's you still you got to throw it long, you got to throw it far, you got to
Just that.
Read the defense and know when the fucking blitz is coming.
Yeah, that's only part of it, bro. You know what chess, right? And business is no different. You're going to make these little moves that are going to set up the big move that you're trying to make. And that's what makes a great fucking visionary operator.
I love it. I love it, guys. Hey, question number 2. Andy, I own a commercial cleaning company here in Arizona and now have some of the biggest names in the state as clients. But last year, when I was trying to win bigger clients, I had the opportunity to clean the biggest names and brands in the states, and I fucked up the job. But I now have employees, top of the line equipment, and confidence to do any job. So at the start of quarter 2, I sent in a handwritten message with a nice bottle of tequila, apologizing and asking for another opportunity. I got no response. Any advice on how I can rekindle that relationship? Business relationships, are they salvageable? How do you do that?
Yeah, first of all, they're salvageable. Second of all, when you salvage them, especially when someone is disgruntled with your services and then you exceed what they initially expected from you, they will actually become a massive advocate for your brand. So, what I mean by that is this: you piss them off. Now you've got to make it right. Your first attempt to make it right didn't work, right? But if you get the opportunity to do it, and you do it, you exceed their expectations of what they originally had and what you sold. Now that person becomes an advocate of you. Now they're telling all their other business buddies, dude, listen, work with this guy, work with that guy, work with this guy. And so when you piss someone off, the ability to make it right is almost worth pissing them off because of how good of an advocate they become when you exceed the expectations of what the job was in the beginning and take an extra step and make it right. So what I would do is I would, instead of writing a letter, I would show up there and I would figure out who the decision maker is. And I would say, hey, here's the deal. I know I f***ed this up. Let me do it for free. Let me do it for free. Let me do everything for free. And let me show you how I can do it. And then when you go in and do it, you do it. If you clean your carpets, bro, you also clean your windows. And then you go out and wash your cars. Okay, I'm talking about like over the top. So that they're like, holy shit. So that's what I would do. And I would be relentless in my pursuit to have the opportunity to do that, knowing that the story that it's going to create is going to be beneficial in the business. I would not give up on getting that customer back. I would not give up on doing whatever I had to do to make sure that I was right. And I would not give up on creating an amazing experience where they had to tell people how awesome of a job that you did.
I was also going to ask you, like, is there a point where, like, okay, tequila didn't work, that didn't work, I mean, do you give up at all? You kind of answered that.
No.
You just keep going.
Because eventually you're going to get it, and that'll be part of the story. Look, dude, the story will be this. Hey, you got to use DJ over here, man. The guy fucking cleaned the carpets. But let me tell you something. The first time he cleaned them, then he sent me a bottle of tequila, and it was fine. Then he showed up at my business, and he said he'd do it for free. And I still didn't let him do it. And then he wouldn't leave me alone for a year. And finally, I let him do it. Dude, this is what he did. You got to fucking use him. The guy's relentless. He's the best, most dedicated person I've ever met at this. And that's the recommendation that you're trying to build here. And you're going to build that by inconveniencing yourself. You've done what you're trying to do.
All right, I don't want to miss this nugget here because I feel like this is also important. You're talking about when you over-deliver that. I feel like when you do that, you're also setting a new standard. So how important is it to make sure that, like, you don't just do really good that one fucking time?
No, you gotta do it. That's the other thing, and that's a great point. Whatever standard you operate at when you get the second opportunity, you have to operate at that standard forever and ever and ever. You have to. So, and by the way, why wouldn't you operate at that standard all the time if you're trying to do referral business? That's how people buy. People don't necessarily buy from ads. They buy from word of mouth. They buy from stories. Their friends use. You want to own those stories. That's the whole game. So you own those stories, you own those recommendations, your business is going to grow.
Don't just do it once.
No, all right, we got it. Yeah. It won't work anyway. Yeah. It won't work anyway because the second time you do it, they're going to be like, oh, this guy was full of shit. I knew the first time.
Yeah. Man, jeez. I love it. Guys, any questions? This is the third and final question. Guys, any question number 3? Andy and DJ, he last year and set goals for the year ahead. I find this practice really helps me stay focused. But I'd love to hear your take on it. Do you have any specific strategies or practices you follow in setting goals for the upcoming year? What's your process for reflecting on the year's past and planning for what's next? Thanks for your time. I really appreciate everything you do. Look forward to hearing your thoughts.
I don't operate that way. I've never operated that way. I've never sat down at the beginning of the year and been like, this is what I want to do this year, or this is what I want to do next year. My goals are so big that they take multiple years. So, like, I don't think of it like that. And when I used to think of it like that, I never achieved any of those things. So I look at it just like I teach you guys, which is this: one day at a time. I look at it very simply. This is my goal. This is my huge goal that I'm trying to achieve over the course of my life. And this is who I'm becoming. This is what I'm creating. This is the businesses I'm going to create. This is the physical shape I'm going to walk around in. This is the lifestyle I'm going to live. And I fucking lay it all out there. Okay? Then I attack it one day at a time. Okay? Just like I talk about in the podcast, Win the Day, which is episode 16 on Real AF. If you go back to episode 16 of Real AF, we talk in depth about this thing called the Power List. All right? And I actually have an app launching for this any day now called the Power List app. Okay? And it's a productivity app that lets you do this right there on your phone. But basically, if you go listen to it, it'll explain to you the productivity system that I've used for the last 25 years to build my life. So, understand this. Huge life. Huge business. Badass physical condition. Awesome lifestyle. All these things go into what I want. Okay? And then I back that down into a day by day system. And then I just look at it, did I win today? Do I win tomorrow? Do I win the next day? And I don't think of it as this massive thing. I just think of it as, one day at a time. And dude, that is the only way you can fucking win. And it's, by the way, the only way that you can guarantee success. You cannot fucking lose if you win every day. You can't lose. There is no X factor. There is no magic. There is no, failure villain that's going to come in and f your shit up, bro. If you win every day, you cannot lose at life. So what does a win every day look like for you? Go listen to episode 16 and it'll help you figure that out. The Live Hard program is an excellent framework for success over the course of your life because it is all the things that I have done over the course of my life that have produced this in a repeatable system year by year by year. A lot of people will say, oh, Live Hard, it doesn't, no shit, bro. Just like you gotta take a shower. Discipline's a perishable skill, like playing guitar. If you don't practice guitar, you're gonna suck at guitar. If you don't practice at jiu-jitsu, what's gonna happen? You're gonna get your ass beat. If you don't practice shooting guns, you're not gonna be good at shooting guns. If you don't take a fucking shower, you're gonna fucking stink. Okay? This is the idea of discipline as well. It is a perishable skill. If you do not practice it over and over and over and over again, you get mentally weak, and then you cannot win the days. So, go do the Live Hard program. Live every single fucking year. It's less than half the year of a commitment to being perfect, which creates a situation where you're generally getting almost everything out of your life.